several items to get through tonight. Charles Murphy is my pastor. I probably forgot to remind him, so he is not here tonight. Patch, could I pick on you to voice? No? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. No is an acceptable answer. I pick on a lot of people, and I don't see a victim right here handy. So
there's Randy right over here.
Randy, can I pick on you again? You might end up being, you can't really be the chaplain, you know, maybe dual purposes for us. We appreciate it. We always appreciate someone voicing our prayer. It's something we try to maintain. We think it's important. Randy, if you do that, and then Phyllis, if you will lead us in our pledge of allegiance. Randy, thank you.
Join me in prayer, please. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for the blessings of life. We thank you for this country that we live in, and for the city that we live in, and for what it means to so many of us. Heavenly Father, we pray that you will be with these individuals tonight as they discuss city issues and city problems and try to resolve those. We pray that you will be with them, that they will look to you for the answers, not just go what's on their hearts. Pray that you'll help them to always make the correct decision. In Jesus' name.
Thank you, Randy.
Would you please join me in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Once again, I want to thank Randy. It's short notice. I used to pick on him when we played softball, though, so I've done this before to him, you know, when we're playing softball.
I'll get you.
Yeah. We'll try to go out and eat someday. Let's start, first of all, and open up the regular meeting of the Clinton Hospital Authority and the Clinton Industrial Authority, and entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Trustee Smith? Yes. Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Rodoff?
Yes.
Trustee Hughes?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. We have no action items, so we will move straight to the city manager's report. We have a city manager's report for either of these authorities.
Not these authorities.
Then we will move on to audience participation for these two authorities. The way we've always done it since I've been mayor, if you have something in these particular authorities, you're welcome to bring them up. It's your time to bring them before the council and voice your opinions. If it is in another authority, there will be times in each of those authorities, as well as kind of a catch-all at the end in the city council meeting where anything can be brought up. So if you have any audience participation for the hospital authority and or industrial authority. Not seeing any, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn these two authorities.
Second.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Hughes?
Yes.
Trustee Rodoff?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. We'll go ahead and move on. Open up the Clinton Recreational Authority. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Hughes?
Yes.
Trustee Rodoff?
Yes.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. We have an action item. Consider resolution RA 1201 regarding the Golf Advisory Board. I know we like me. Always gotta love it. It's better than the old blue screen collapses. We all got this in our packages. I know it was kind of told us what was there. I know I'm trying to get to it. It may let me and it may not. Steve, you want to wait this over?
Yes, Council, this is a resolution. Basically, the Golf Advisory Board is made up currently of 5 members at large that the council appoints, and then also representative of the Men's and Women's Golf Associations. There has been some struggle for the Men's and Women's Golf Association to provide a member for voting at those meetings. So, in much discussion, the advisory board has voted to make a recommendation to the council to remove the voting rights from the Golf Men's and Women's Association. They'd still be welcome to come and be involved in the discussion as ex officio members, but this was creating a quorum issue, and this would solve that quorum issue, I believe, and remain the 5 that are appointed by the city council. And this resolution basically says just that.
Now
Nobody on the advisory board would vote, is that what we're saying now? or-
No, the 5 advisory members that you appoint would be voting members. The Men's Association and Women's Association, representative, president, whoever they chose to come, would not vote. They'd participate but not vote, just the 5 members you appoint.
Steve, how many are currently attending the meetings?
The Men's Association representative has made one of the last 5 or 6 meetings, and Women's is made one the past 2 years. It's just difficult for them to make it. Now, our membership, current appointees from the council is staying steady. We're having enough for a quorum, usually 4, sometimes our 5 are making it. We try to have them a lunch and try to work around schedules, but this would help us meet our quorum concerns. They'd still be involved, and they're deeply involved because obviously it's, they do a lot for our course, but, and both the associations agreed, they also agreed this would be better because they can't seem to make it there all the time.
Any questions or comments from council related to this particular action item?
I make a motion, we go ahead and approve the resolution RA 1201.
Any question or comment from anyone in the audience related to this particular action item? Not seeing any.
Trustee Hulen?
Yes.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Appreciate what everyone does in the golf advisory board. I know it's important to us. That's okay. Okay, we'll check it out. We'll see where we go from here. If not, I can grab a book and do it the old-fashioned way. Let's see if, city manager's report for the Clinton Recreational Authority.
Well, the only extra thing I have in the Recreation Authority is to thank the Rotary Club for their donation to help with some fitness equipment, $1,250, I believe. We're going to purchase some ropes and some free weights at the Acme Brick Park, and we appreciate that. I want to say thank you. And that'll show all I have in recreation.
Audience participation under the Recreational Authority. This will be your chance under the Recreational Authority if you have a comment or a question for the council. Not seeing any, we'll entertain a motion to adjourn the Recreational Authority.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Hulen?
Yes.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Yes. Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. We'll open up the regular meeting of the Airport Authority. Entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Trustee Smith? Yes. Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
Trustee Hulen?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. For those who have not been with us all the time, we always ask for an approval on the consent agenda, but any council person has the ability to ask for a correction or anything. That's just a standard to get us through it in a timely manner. That we have the ability to ask or to ask for changes. First action item, consider change order number 1 with Circle S Paving Company regarding contract for reconstruction of hangar aprons at Clinton Regional Airport. Not going to work. Oh, well, nothing like brand new. Steve, give us an overview on this, if you would.
Yes, council, this is a change order with Circle S Paving for $25,210.50. We had some major subgrade issues after pulling the asphalt around the aprons that took an extensive amount of work. And actually, to be honest with you, we're actually pleased with the pricing we got. Circle S has a tremendous amount of soil conditioning and adding some screenings. This will be the only change order. The project is complete. It looks great. We appreciate their hard work. This was approved by the change order, approved by the engineer, Cobb Engineering, and we recommend you approve the change order for $25,210.50.
Any questions or comments from council related to this change order?
This isn't the kind of thing they would find when they were doing their initial dirt work? Or
No.
They can't?
I mean, we did course handles, but we thought we possibly had a water leak at one time, and we did not. It was simply just moisture underneath that apron that had been there for quite some time, you know, probably for 30 years. And so Could not get it dried out, except the old-fashioned way, basically open the soil up, dry it out, add some conditioner, place it, compact it back, and they did that. It was very long, tedious, labor intensive. That's mostly what this is labor, except for the screenings. Did a great job, worked with us all along the way, as well as LaCobb, to try to work this problem out. But they could not find it. And in the geotech report, I mean, we did testing prior, we did not find any of these issues, but it just was something that was there.
Any other questions or comments from council? Not seeing any questions or comments from anyone in the audience related to this particular change order. I'll entertain a motion to approve this change order.
I'll make a motion, we approve change order number 1 with surplus pavement. In the amount of $25,210.50.
Second.
Trustee Hewland?
Yes.
Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Yes. And Chairman?
Yes. The city manager's report to the airport authority.
Well, I mentioned to you last meeting that our OAC project was also completed. We were doing some punch list things on striping and some, they got to come back this spring to kill some grass and some stuff, Bermuda grass. But that project is completed, which basically overlaid with a material and cleaned up our cracks around our entire airport area beyond the apron. And so we appreciate that project. And again, that was a 90% grant through the OAC, as well as a 90% grant on the last project through the FAA. So we both projects are now complete, and the airport, if you've not been out there, it looks great and very professional. I'm very pleased how it looks.
Any questions or comments from the city manager or council?
This is not on this particular issue, and we probably talked about it before, and I forget. But what about our jet fuel capabilities out there? I've been told rumors that they go to Elk City and Weatherford because we can't provide jet. Is that not true?
That's very true. We initially, when we did the budget, we looked at the Jet A program. That was in excess of close to $100,000. It did make the cut during budget time, if you remember, but with Chapman Row being moved back later in the budget year, we are looking again, and Tracy is getting some prices on the potential of doing that after the first of the year, possibly, as a capital project. But it would be extensively less, looking at using a truck.
I heard a truck.
Yeah, and that would save us on some of the infrastructure costs. So we're looking into that right now, and I may be working with Lisa and Tracy, hopefully to bring something back to you, maybe in January, February. I got to work with Deborah on some capital, other needs, good needs, and fire and police as well. But we believe we may be able to bring that back to you for quite a bit less than we initially thought. But we do lose a lot of business around the area because we do not have Jet A.
It are runways long enough for small jets?
Yes, we have. I mean, we just lose out on fuel. And
So we ought to be able to fix that. Maybe.
it's a fixable item. It's just money. Money. Yeah.
Any other questions or comments related to this authority for the city manager or the council? Any audience participation under the airport authority? Any questions or comments for?
My understanding is the city portion is only 10% of that 25,000.
That's correct.
Right.
Yes.
Where does this put us? I guess that's a good question to ask. Where does this put us with our allotments, our money that comes from the FAA?
Well, I don't have the numbers in front of me, and so, but I will. It doesn't look like we will have a FAA project for a couple of years now. Our priorities are, we are looking at runway extension, but a runway extension sometimes talks on traffic, and they consider things like Jet A, so we can look at that. Fencing is a priority that they definitely want to see done. And so we'll be working with FAA and our engineers on the next level of what we want to do. We will not be doing anything, at least not next year, probably skip a year and then come to see how much funding is available. The good thing is FAA money has been approved through the feds for the next 5 years, so we know there'll be money there, and we are in the system, and that's what matters.
Entertain a motion to adjourn the airport authority.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Hewland?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Yes. Trustee Rudolph?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Moving on to the Public Works Authority, we'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second. Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Yes. Trustee Hulen?
Yes.
Trustee Rhoda?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Action items, we have on here a discussion with legal counsel regarding pending litigation, including executive session as authorized by state 25 Oklahoma statutes. We'll entertain a motion to go into executive session, and if you would, please request the city manager accompany us.
I move that we go into executive session as authorized by 25 Oklahoma statutes 307B4 and request the city manager and our city attorney.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Rhoda?
Yes.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Yes. Trustee Hulen?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. We shall return. Thank you all for waiting. We will entertain a motion to come back into executive session from executive session.
Second.
Trustee Rhoda? Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Trustee Hulen?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes, no action from that executive session, so we will move on to the city manager's report for the Public Works Authority.
Oh, just one minor thing. We've been battling some water leaks. You've been aware of a very large one Friday night. Appreciate our guys staying out very, very late. Subcontractor hit a line, lost about 2.3 million gallons of water, so we'll be dealing with that and the cleanup and working with them on helping repair that to cover our costs. But a few of those are happening right now, as you see a few projects around town, so it's not uncommon, just happens to happen all one time right now, so, and we're battling through that, so if you notice that our staff is out diligently trying to work with those folks and to make it, to help them not do that anymore, so we appreciate our staff and trying to resolve this. That's it.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting at our safety banquet that a lot of the folks the safety banquet was for had to be out working, so they missed parts of the banquet. We appreciate the job they do. It's nice to be able to count on our city employees. Audience participation under Public Works Authority. Any questions or comments related to the Public Works Authority section? Not seeing any, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn the Public Works Authority.
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Smith? Yes. Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Rhoda?
Yes.
Trustee Hulen?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes, moving on to the Solid Waste Authority, we'll open up the Solid Waste Authority and entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Trustee Hulen?
Yes.
Trustee Smith? Yes. Trustee Rhoda?
Yes.
Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. Action items, consider proposals for curbside single stream recycling services. Hopefully we have some proposals. Gee. First one we have is a response, it's to attention Steve Jones, but it says, to whom may it concern, WCA of Oklahoma is pleased to have been invited to bid on the recycle collection transportation needs of the city of Clinton. Unfortunately, at this time, WCA of Oklahoma will not be responding to the RFP submitted. Due to the location of the community in comparison to the current hauling operations we offer, we cannot develop a market competitive to the solid waste services offered to the community. And it's signed by Alan Cox, State Marketing Director. A couple of proposals from Progressive Waste Solutions out of Hobart, Oklahoma is the location that this lists. And as we can imagine, those are very much in-depth. And
There should be a summary on the very front.
with summary.
They should, some re-narrative.
Let's see if we got two copies.
Yeah, it should be
Same
two copies
thing.
each one.
Got it here. Service over 4. It's a little more in depth. Citizen experience. Actual proposal. So that is,
That's basically what you get out there.
Okay. They have a proposed pricing for the city of Clinton, 95-gallon single-stream recycling cart, once a week pickup, $6.45 per home. Cost revenue to the city of Clinton, no revenue associated with this proposal, and they have an estimate of the savings on a historical average of who recycles, and they have a, they have a couple of values that they place, provide the city of Clinton an opportunity to reduce the number of trucks used to collect trash. So they have a couple of,
They're not doing trash though, are they?
no, this is
They're doing recycling.
this is just a $6.45 per home, once a week pickup, 95-gallon single-stream recycling cart.
What's the charge, $6.45?
$6.45, and no revenue associated to the city of Clinton.
Oh, I see, okay.
Let's see what we've got. Wow. This is from Republic, Gary Miller. We had the Boy Scouts here, they'd be telling me I was doing it wrong. Once again, a couple of duplicates. Several tabs. And as far as pricing, they say to see tab C6, so I flip behind that, have an exhibit, and it is in depth. You're looking at
And I'm going to go back to the summary page. Beginning.
Is there a summary page? I think that's the, it's in, that is in the vein of the original overhead that they showed us at all of the different, well, most of the different. And as pricing comparisons. I don't see anything in this. Looks more like a proposal for, it looks like a proposal back to what they had originally, like what they had originally done. And pricing listed here, and I'd have to look to see if it's the same, which that's what staff can do. But it has commercial, residential, roll-off, inside, outside. This may give us, and it looks to be comparable to what they had before. Current price, City of Clinton, $12.40, and proposed price, $12.07. And then I don't know if they're exactly the same, but it appears to be in the same vein of what we had gone through originally with them.
Here's the same, this is
Oh,
exactly the same.
sorry.
It is, it's actually,
Okay.
we did bid on just the recycling services
Okay.
only, we did it as a package deal still, and the pricing is exactly the same as what was done before,
Okay,
so.
I apologize. I
No,
was
you're
sitting here waiting through this. Should have just asked. Let's take that and set that off to the side.
Steve, was that 1240 or 1207?
Well, it's 1207, but it includes both trash and.
Okay.
We also have a proposal that Steve has done. That was the city of Clinton, and that's a city that you can explain what it is.
Well, basically, council, basically the service is to provide any household who'd like to have curbside recycling. The city can do it for $4.05 per household at a bi-weekly service. And you can go through this in depth, and get you copies of it. Basically, we would give everybody who'd like to have, it's not mandatory, but it would be a cost across the board to all households of $4.05 additional on top of what they're paying today. It would include a capital investment of $166,870 for a truck, polycarts, fuel, insurance, staffing, fleet operations and maintenance, and our tipping fees with the recycling facility. And there are some rebates, obviously, reduction of landfill and market rebate from the facility, recycling facility. So that breaks down to each household. We have 34, a little bit more than 3,400 homes. It breaks down to $4.05 per home. There is some debt service involved, because we have to purchase some vehicles. It's a break-even cost, no surplus. Years 1 through 3, years 4 through 5 would allow us to see some surplus to replace trucks and equipment year 6 or 7.
Where would they take this stuff when they collect it?
Oklahoma City.
To the same place we take trash, or is it?
No, they would have to take it to the Batliner paper facility in Oklahoma, West Oklahoma City. We would take a truck twice a month.
It has been our custom, and I will mention this, we can do with it as we see fit, but it's been our custom to refer this, proposals that are this in-depth to staff for a review and a recommendation. What is,
I recommend that's what we do.
it's going to be hard to compare apples and oranges. And
Council, if you don't mind, I think it's important that you have a copy of all 3 proposals. If you'd like to do that, I can have staff have it to your offices or email tomorrow, and you can begin to review those as well. As staff reviews them also, and then we can then tackle this thing in 2 more weeks and decide if there's something you want to move on or not. Or long, whatever you like.
questions or comments from council? Questions or comments from anyone in the audience related to this?
I just have one. You said there are 3,400 houses in town?
We have 3,400 and, yeah, just a little bit more than 3,400 residents.
So even the people that don't want to, say, recycle, would still get charged the 4 something if the majority says, yeah, this is what they want to do?
That is the
what
only
you're saying?
financial way,
That's the only way?
the
Okay.
lowest way.
I just wanted to make sure I understood it.
That's right. That's how our proposals lined up.
Any other questions or comments related to this? We will have more information to be out. And yes,
While we're on this subject, I'd like to know what the response was to the survey that was sent out to the property owners as to the numbers that were interested in recycling.
Council, would you like me to read those? What I've
Yes.
I've copied on your desk.
Yes.
It's in depth because we wrote every single comment down, council. And we had 728 yes we had 274 no's, and we had 26 undecided, and a tremendous amount of comments. So you can review those, and we'll make that available to anybody who'd like to review those here at City Hall.
And that's out of how many did we send out?
Our utility billing goes out to 4,000 accounts approximately.
4,000?
Any other questions or comments from anyone in the audience? Not seeing any, I'll entertain a motion to refer this to staff for review, summary, and recommendation. If that is your,
And get it, get a copy to the county.
yes, we do need copies, I think that's understood.
So moved.
Second. Trustee Marcy?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Trustee Bowman?
Yes.
Trustee Hulen?
Yes.
And Chairman?
Yes. I would take mine in email just because it's bulky, and I know you're probably going to PDF some of it. I know some people are more comfortable with copies, but I'll take mine in email. I'm just going to get stuck with that. Copy machine will be running heavy. We will do that. Okay. Step back, city manager's report for the Solid Waste Authority.
You know, I would just like to say that we have holidays, and they come up, and one thing that people don't appreciate is that we have some guys that work in the sanitation department back here, and they work those holidays a lot of times so that you get your trash picked up on a regular basis, and we appreciate what they do. And this Christmas is coming up, and they're going to have a tremendous amount of more trash that they pick up. And we also want to remind people, and we did this in the water bills, that we've got a great facility down here at Glenn Smith Road. I use it myself often on Saturdays on bulky things that don't fit in my poly cart. And so we want to remind people it's a great facility that's no cost to our citizens. So to go down there and see our staff, and you can dump and your excess stuff. And so I appreciate what they do, and I appreciate what our staff does every day and down there, and we appreciate that. So if we're talking about this, I just thought I'd throw that out.
Well, and the staff down there is very accommodating.
Yes, they are.
I'm amazed at all this junk, people coming down there, no telling what, and they've always been pleasant, every time. So I have to give them credit for that.
Steve, have we kind of started phasing out the roll-offs when we placed in certain parts of Clinton during certain times of the year?
What we did last time, yeah, we worked with the public on this because the last time we did it in the spring, we had a tremendous amount of illegal material or unauthorized DEQ material in those roll-offs. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to see if we can bring more roll-offs down to this location, push those different times a year so we can monitor what's going in them, because we're getting a lot of things we cannot take to the landfill. So we're trying to do it that way. We're not against the fact we want to do this again around town, but trying to eliminate having staff monitor it, because they're out for 2 days of the weekend. So we've tried to do it down here this last fall pickup, and I needed to talk to staff about how it went, but that's why we've done it this way this last time. Okay.
What do you do with the stuff if you can't put it, if you can't send it off somewhere?
Well, there's certain things that have to go to certain locations, like hazardous waste locations, and so
It just costs more money.
Republic just can't take it to the transfer station and take it to the landfill. It's not allowed, so that creates a lot of additional issues for us. Yeah. So.
Any other questions for the city council related to this particular authority, solid waste? Any questions or comments from the audience related to the solid waste authority? This will be your opportunity to ask a question related to this area.
I'd like to make just a comment. I think that finally, when you all decided to use the avenue to get this information out to the people about such as we're talking about, is a very good route to take for further communications with the city property owners. And I think that there's areas that it probably could be used more frequently now that we have this type of mail-out situation with our city bill. It's a very good avenue to get the information out to the people that need it.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Trustee Rodo?
Yes.
Trustee Hulen?
Yes.
And Chairman.
Yes. Moving on to the regular meeting of the Clinton City Council, we'll open it up, entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda. So moved.
Second.
Councilman Marcy?
Yes.
Councilman Hulen?
Yes.
Councilman Rodo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Smith? And Mayor.
Yes. I get to do something, I did get it fixed. Thank you very much. I get to do something I enjoy, because I've known the young man. Where did he go? Is he still back over there? Oh, okay. Yeah, he's hiding out behind some people. I've known the young man for a long time. He has he's on the honor roll, 25 years, quarter century, and it is neat. I can remember a couple of these since I've been on the council, so it is an honor. And there are a lot of things with firemen. 20 years is it's just a benchmark. A lot of guys at 20 years take their leave and go on down the road. I know Wade had more than 25. I think Wade had like 47 or 48. No, it's not. I love to give him a hard time. But Billy, if you'll come up here, I'll present this to you, and I consider it a great honor. Billy is, it's always, I think you can kind of benchmark guys by how long they've been with the Clinton Fire Department, if they were at the Laverne. Atwoods. I had it right. I just didn't trust myself. But he also, I know because he was in Colorado with me when Pop Hicks caught fire. In fact, I think both your brother was there too. And I think it was us three, and we were all talking about it was 105 degrees down there. And it was brutal, and I don't know how we missed that particular fire, but we were. But if you were at the Atwoods fire, or if you were at the Steak Place fire, you've been with the city of Clinton a while. So I just want to say thank you. You have a pin that shows your career, and you can set this up. We'll just set this here. Billy was, when I got to be a volunteer, Billy was very kind to me. I wasn't always the fastest guy afoot, and he was very kind to me. I can't tell you how much, we've talked about the guys that pick up our trash, the water guys who didn't get to go to the safety banquet. We had great food. The guys that were out working, there were some fire guys that didn't get to come because they were out at the bonfire, and then they had to go over and do some other things. I don't know if you've never been a fireman, you haven't ever heard that tone go off at 3 in the morning when you have a regular job and you're working, and or you're a regular fireman and it's your time off. And that tone goes off. It's a special thing. I remember there was a fire down in the flats, and down in East Side, and it was cold. It was probably 20 degrees. It was just brutal, and we had an army of help because the volunteers were there, the full-time guys were there. They do something that is just, you can't live without it, and we're very protected. We're very blessed to have great firemen. So I would say Billy is one of those. He's been a leader for quite a while now, so congratulations, Billy. Let's take a look at what's next. Back it up. Next action item, consider acceptance of resignation from Ward 4 Councilwoman Phyllis Smith. And Phyllis had sent this letter to all of us, giving us CC copies. And Phyllis, her last day will be December 31st, 2012. So Phyllis and I have something in common. So I think we need a motion to accept her resignation effective December 31st, 2012. And Phyllis, I'm going to give you an opportunity if you'd like to say something. I know we did last time, but well, I'm going to read this because I think it's appropriate. Sometimes you find tidbits in things that are quotes. Give light, and people will find their way, and find the good. It's all around you. Find it, showcase it, and you'll start believing it. I think that probably works for the city of Clinton. We're very blessed. We have a great town. So we'll entertain a motion to accept the resignation effective December 31st, 2012 of Councilwoman Phyllis Smith.
So moved. Second.
Councilman Marcy? Councilman Rodoff?
Yes.
Councilman Hughman?
Yes.
Councilwoman Smith? And Mayor?
Yes. And I would agree reluctantly, but I wish her the best in her new endeavors. And the one thing I've found out about Clinton folk, once you're from Clinton, you're from Clinton. So you'll be welcomed back with open arms. And of course you have your reunions every so often.
We just want you to stay tuned, so.
Yes. Consider appointment of individual to fill vacated seat of Ward 4. I know we've talked about this. Steve, do you have any questions or comments you want to add to this?
Well, council, we by no means expected you to try to have to fill it tonight, but we wanted to let you know and put on the agenda, make sure that the community's aware of it. We've got one candidate interested, as you saw in Ms. Smith's letter, and an opportunity to meet with that gentleman. But there may be others that and just the information got out, so you can, and I believe, Ryan, I believe they actually cannot appoint until the resignation is complete. So they would have to wait till our January 2nd meeting, which is at noon on Wednesday, I remind you, the 2nd. So, but it's important to get that information out so that you guys can get information you want.
I like your recommendation in your memo. If we can develop some type of application process and get some notice out and see how many people would be interested in being appointed. Because the way I understand it, from looking at the charter, they would be appointed for 1 year. They would have to file, whoever we appoint will have to file in April or May, whatever it is, have filing. And they would, whoever's elected would take office the following January. My understanding, looking at the charter.
For 1 year.
1 year.
And then have to file again.
Right.
So
But
that's exactly right.
in looking at the charter, it appears to me that we couldn't appoint until the January meeting.
Yep.
And, but I think we need to get it out and see if people are interested. And probably, Mayor, appoint 2 council members to meet with these people.
I don't have a problem. That's I think that will fall on you guys. I don't want to get myself injected too far into it, but I think with a new mayor coming on, I think that would be helpful to him also, because it's going to be a kind of a short window to be able to find. Mustafa, I can do. The last name I don't want to mess up. Simon? Okay. I thought I would mess it up. Mr. Simon, I know he has put his interest in, but I think that Steve can put something together and we let people know. I know when we found Phyllis, we went through a lot of people that we thought might be interested. I tried to beat the bushes, so to speak, and Phyllis was really, she was the only one that stepped forward and said she'd like to do it. And, so we'll see who we have from that particular ward that would like to. If Mr. Simon is the only one, then you guys can work with that. I think it would be helpful too. I think a lot of times you say, I'd like to be on the council, but I would consider it helpful when I said I wanted to be on the council, if I could have sat down with a couple of council members and said, what am I volunteering for? What, tell me a little bit about it. So I don't think that's a bad idea. I think Don's done it long enough. It's a pretty good idea. So, any other questions or comments related to this? I think we'll get the word out. Let Steve put together just a small system that will let us know who the person is and why they're interested. And then a couple of council personnel. Don't know that we can do that tonight, but I would say we could probably work ourselves around that and maybe put that on the next agenda. Select a couple of council members to visit with the new person. That's all we can get together at one time. So. postage. Any other questions or comments related to this appointment discussion to fill the soon-to-be vacated seat of Ward 4? Not seeing any. All city manager's report for the city of Clinton. Steve?
Well, council, kind of piggybacking on that conversation, is that we're going to develop an application process for any citizen who'd like to be a part of any board or a part of some type of committee in the city. I've done this in other cities and it works well that, you know, so it's helpful for the council maybe if golf board, planning commission, you already have people that are interested, they provided you with kind of an application resume, and you could then know who's interested and begin to look through those. You can always take new ones, but it's nice to know who's involved, and so, because sometimes, a lot of times council people and council members come from boards that have a chance to get in slowly, and so we will develop something. Lisa's working on that right now for me, trying to get some copies and some samples. We're going to get something out that we can help with the entire process, so we can get more people involved with city government. Also, that'll be an application process. We can put that on our website. That leads me into my next item. Real quick, we are about to go live with our new website. Gene is going to walk you through what that looks like tonight, and got a good crowd, so that's good. We're very excited about what the new website will mean. It's going to be slow. We're going to be adding things, but it's a much more professional, and I think I would say modern website to capture people's eyes. And Gene, just walk me through it.
Like Steve said, developers worked on this. We've tried to make it easier for both staff to get the information out and for visitors to find the information that they need. We've been, it's reorganized all the data. The developers went through all our content and got it in proper places. Residents to come find their information, visitors, businesses, now our government services. Quick links up here at the top. Of course, the slides, any new information, bring attention to information that we need to get out. We also have a place here that, an emergency or alert we want to get out, bring some attention to, we can also do it there. Just a cleaner look and hopefully a better way to get to our information.
There will still be links to the agendas and the past agendas as well. All the database that was previously on the other website, it'll still remain on this one.
We're porting it over. Going forward, we'll be adding it, and then we'll be back porting it. We'll make it available through an old link just upstairs, and then we'll also be migrating it to the new site, so it's available in the new format. Just want to let you see kind of, hope you didn't go to the website when it goes live in a week or so and kind of think we've been hacked. We're not. We've been working on it, and I think it's a much cleaner look. Definitely much more organized. I think from a visitor's perspective and from the staff's perspective, we'll be able to get it on much easier and a much more, everything is standardized, so you know you're on our site and you know it all looks the same. Got the health numbers at the bottom. That's one of the things, the comments I've gotten from the public is they come to the site, can't find what they're looking for. Some of it is phone numbers. We've got a directory link right from the top where they hopefully quickly get to whatever department they're looking for. As well as a contact form, which is being utilized currently on our site. This one actually goes directly to the department and saves a couple of steps. In case some staff is out, this gets to the person that they want to get to a little faster. Let's get it.
And I think,
There's also, one of the big things is a translation link at the bottom to incorporate our Hispanic community. Quickly keep the same format, but translates it using Google, which is one of the best ones out there, so.
And you hope to go live when?
For next week.
Next week.
15th. The contract is wrapping up, gonna give it to us by Monday, and we'll be putting it in our server hopefully middle of the week, end of the week.
we're gonna try to add some things, like, we're gonna really try to get the public to, know our facilities, get photographs, webisodes, and meet our staff, meet projects, see things, again, information that we can get out quickly. I'm a big fan of the scrolling, hot topics. You just leave the website alone, just leave it up, and it will just scroll on its own. Things we're talking about that might catch people's eyes. I think it's, and those kind of things are just very popular if you look at websites today. So we're very pleased. We want to, implement the. You can see in the background there's actually buffalo and some things. It's hard to tell probably not large screen than Route 66, and we're proud of that and those kind of things. So, but we're real excited about having a more modern look that is easier to maneuver and find information, and easy for staff to get the information. That's the main thing.
And hopefully, the homepage right here, these are all dynamic with upcoming events and any news stories that we need to, put out information on. So these are dynamic, hopefully a person can go to the homepage and see, get a quick update on anything that's happened, and then also find any of the links that they need pretty quickly.
I can see a lot of things in there we've talked about over the last 6 years. It's a process. Thank you. That's, to me, it's exciting. It's where the younger generation will go and the rest of us dinosaurs have passed on. So, but it's also nice because I know I've gone looking for information in different places, and that's a pretty good looking format. Steve?
That's all I have.
I wanted to bring up one thing. I know I feel like we're blessed. We have a reverse 911, and sometimes as you're going along, you find little things that people mention to you. If someone could check our daycare locations and make sure someone at those daycare locations is also on our notification list. And there may be some other locations that I'm not thinking of. That was who mentioned to me. We had a gas leak, and the daycare location that was close to that gas leak didn't get notified. And I'm not pointing fingers. It's just one of those things we let people actively put themselves on there. We had a lot of parents notified, and so I think they did get it in a roundabout way. But we might want to put our thinking caps on and think from a safety standpoint, who now we need to go out and actively find numbers for certain sections. I like the fact that you can go on our website, and when that comes up, you'll be able to have your contact information. So I think, Gene, we're very fortunate to have someone in IT as good as Gene. So I wanted to mention that. The other thing I wanted to mention was I was blessed enough to actually do the 15th state championship game I've ever done in my life on radio. Anybody who knows radio broadcasters, you don't get to do 15 state championships. I've done 19 semifinal games out of 23 seasons. I started when I got here when Mike got here. So I would like to recognize the Clinton Red Tornadoes, number 16. I thought last night, Denny Meacham, the MC of the annual football banquet, said it very well. It is a source of pride for the city of Clinton and for our citizens. If you followed the team this year, it was an uphill struggle. And they mentioned last night, I don't know of any team in my memory, which is not all-encompassing, that has ever had the second game play an undefeated team in playoffs, the third game play an undefeated team in playoffs, and the fourth game play an undefeated team in the playoffs. That is an accomplishment. The other accomplishment is we are, I believe, 3 games ahead of the Ada Cougars now for the most winning program in the state of Oklahoma. We are, I believe, we're close to number 17 nationally for wins. And something I didn't know that my brother in Corpus Christi got off of the off of the broadcast was we're also the first football program, high school football program in the nation to win state championships in 6 consecutive decades. So I would congratulate a lot of young men that were very proud last night at the football banquet. I'd congratulate our coaches and the administration for the school. And I wanted to mention that tonight because I think we all take great pride in what our young men have accomplished, not just over the last 23 years. I thought one of the highlights of the season was the Elk City game, the 1967 team. The gentlemen that are still alive were there, and that was exciting. I got to go out and shake their hands. I've been blessed being the mayor, so just want to mention that. Any other questions or comments from the council? Questions or comments from the audience? Not seeing any, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Councilwoman Smith? Yes.